The Drive with Tim Donnelly, 99.9 The Fan, from live outside PNC Arena, where we are getting you set not only for Game 2 of the Canes-Islanders series, which is coming up right here, just a few, 100 feet from where we sit right now. We also need to keep you updated on the transfer portal because college basketball is officially a year-round sport. It is becoming more and more. Actually, college sports are all year-round sports at this point. UNC fans, Harrison Ingram going pro. He made the announcement over the weekend. Had a nice, thank you video that he sent out there. UNC basketball thus far, and I want to emphasize thus far, not having a great offseason.
Not quite.
It's the reason why I emphasize thus far is because with the transfer portal, all that could change in a day. You could bring in the right guys. You could get RJ Davis to say he's coming back. But the not great offseason continued. It got worse with Harrison Ingram announcing he's going pro. And I've said this before. I'll say it again. RJ Davis is the most important decision of the offseason because he's, the ACC reigning player of the year. He's the Jerry West Award going to the best
Top
shooting guard in the country. He's would be, if he returns, perhaps the betting favorite to win the Wooden Award next year. So he's really gosh darn good. And we're still waiting on his decision. But I'll say this. It might be more difficult to fill Ingram's role than it is to fill RJ Davis's role. And what I mean by that is RJ Davis is a quality thing. He is unbelievably good, but his archetype is, a 6'3" shooting guard that likes to jack up shots. Not to say those are a dime a dozen, but you can find guys that know how to score. It's like the thing that the American AAU system is designed to create. Harrison Ingram, though, it's somebody that does all of the little things, somebody that is willing to rebound, even if it means they're not one of the main scorers. That's a little bit more difficult of an archetype to find. They have to play the portal aggressively now. Assuming Harrison Ingram stays in the draft and he is maintaining his eligibility, they have to really chase that in the portal. Drake Powell is a recruit that's coming in that could play those minutes, could play small forward, but it'd be unfair to ask really any freshman to play the physical manner that Harrison Ingram did to rebound and to say, all right, we need 17 rebounds today.
Yeah.
Go ahead, freshie.
And also go play lockdown defense.
Yeah, it's
guard 1 through 4.
And it's not even just with Ingram leaving. It's Ingram was going to help cover for the loss of Bacot and Withers. And now you're replacing Bacot, Ingram, and Withers. They need some guys that can bang down low, and that's where the portal comes into play. Now, I say that, right? The whole reason I say they haven't had a great offseason, they haven't had the big, flashy name out of the portal, they haven't had RJ Davis say he's coming back. All of that could change very quickly, right? They're one commitment away and a return from RJ Davis from me saying, they're probably a top 10 team in the country next year. But they need to start adding, right? So far, all it's been is subtraction. Ipso facto, and
a lot of those subtractions have been because of graduation, because Bacot graduated, Withers graduation, Cormac Ryan, Paxton Wojcik. So those 4 guys right there. The only guy that's left because of the portal has been Seth Trimble.
In the portal.
I know like Aquanco and a couple other guys like way down the bench out, but of like the regulars last year, it's been Trimble and then now Ingram going to the NBA. I think it's more imperative now that RJ Davis does come back.
It's imperative that RJ Davis comes back, and it's imperative that they just bring in some veteran bodies. Seth Trimble is a guy that you would have expected to use the experience and step into a role. Now you need some other people to almost bring in ready-made experience. And then look at Duke, right? If you go to 48 hours ago, 72 hours ago, they had lost 10 names. Some, like you said, going pro, some a bunch to the portal, and their fans were terrified. Well, guess what? They brought in Malik Brown from Syracuse, a nice signing or a nice commitment out of the portal, and now the Gillis, the shooter from Purdue. There we go.
The Big Ten Sixth Man of the Year.
Sixth Man of the Year. So you bring in a player who was ACC All Defense last year and a player that was Sixth Man of the Year in the Big Ten, and you're realizing if the young players for Duke are going to play the quote-unquote star roles, along with Caleb Foster and Tyrese Proctor, They're bringing in ready-made, fully formed, already cooked, already preheated role players. A 6th man of the year that shot 46% from three in the Big Ten. A guy that didn't average double figures in points, but was the 3rd leading vote getter for first-team all-defense in the ACC last year. You bring those guys in, they already know how to play that role, right? So it's like, oh gosh, we need someone that's able to impact the game, even if they aren't getting a ton of shots, because Cooper Flagg and Isaiah Evans and Darren Harris and Maluash are all going to be taking all this usage. Duke's going, great, let's go get a guy that was all defense, even though they didn't get a bunch of shots in the Atlantic Coast Conference already. Let's go get a guy that can touch the ball for 4 seconds a half and knock down 3 threes. Perfect. Got it. That's something that we're going to see more of in college basketball. Instead of hoping one of your young guys can develop into the piece to surround your stars, you're just going to go get the guy that's already the piece that surrounds your star. So let's say UNC brings back RJ Davis. What does RJ Davis need to be successful? Go find that guy already built somewhere else, already fully formed, bring him in the portal, and you'll be one step ahead of the game. And then in addition to the development of, they have very good recruiting class, Powell and Williams. They have a few guys coming back that they're very excited about. Maybe Washington plays more minutes down low. There's some structure there, but the key is grabbing the right pieces out of the portal. And, that wasn't the case until a couple years ago. It's going to be the case for the foreseeable future.
I know we talked about it a bit last week. I know we're going to get the break, but it's amazing how the school built off transfers, or the roster built off transfers mostly. NC State is going to have the most continuity next year.
Yeah,
they're going to be the ones that have the most continuity next year from this year's roster to next year's roster. They have the most guys coming back.
Well, Duke's bringing back 2 guys total, so they're out of the running.
Yeah.
UNC with a commitment back from RJ Davis, they still have a little bit, but they got beat a little bit by bringing in guys with little eligibility. Mm-hmm. So the I almost said retirements, the graduations. I never know how to. Athletes retire and then they go get a job. It's a weird thing. I was talking to a UNC swimmer today, trying to get into the business, and he said, like, I retired 2 months ago, and it was just I was like, oh, you're going to retire and now you're going to get a job. that's not how most people
retire, or did your sport retire you? Because most cases, for us, like our sport retires us.
Our sport said it's about time you retire.
Yeah.
And I said, I don't know if that's retiring. Anyway,